Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, this is Megneous and welcome back to another episode of Kerbal Space Program. If you can see on the screen, looking at this little purple dot, you know exactly where we're going. We're going to Eve. And more importantly, we're joined yet again by Wilman Kerman. I'm pretty sure there are now 3 or 4 Wilman Kermans in my save file just hanging out. I believe 2 of them are at Moho. This is the one that's going to Eve. I really hope in the future they take care of this bug where multiple of a single astronaut or Kerbonaut are spawned, because if they go close to each other, like in the same space station, one of them will disappear. And that's definitely not something you want on like a manned mission to a specific planet where you want to, say, I don't know, do science or something like that. So, anyway, we're already on our way to Eve. We're going to be entering Eve's sphere of influence very soon. I'm just going to speed this up quite a bit. Talking about Eve, I told you guys a little bit about Eve earlier with its captured asteroid of a moon Gilly. Told you about its purple atomic... Hello. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's... Wow, that's a really nice... PE, actually. Alright, come on. Come on, a little bit closer. Wow, we have a really, really fast satellite right there. But yeah, so... as I said before, Eve is supposed to be the Venus analog of the Kerbal system, and if you guys don't know much about Venus, you should totally find out about Venus by going to Wikipedia or watching documentaries, what have you, because Venus is an amazing planet. The second planet from our sun. It's very, very similar to Earth, actually. It's very close in size. And we believe that it too, like Mars and Earth, at one point had water in its distant past. But, unfortunately, what seems to have happened is that maybe through volcanism, or maybe through some sort of solar wind that blew off the rest of its atmosphere, who knows. There are people who are better qualified to talk about that than me. Eventually, what ended up happening was that all of the... What am I talking about? This is hard to think while I'm getting to the PE. Give me just a second. Alright, now that we're very close to the PE, let's talk. What ended up happening eventually was that Venus's atmosphere, I don't know if this happened on Eve, but Venus's atmosphere ended up being basically almost all carbon dioxide, which, if you know about carbon dioxide on Earth, it causes a greenhouse warming effect, basically trapping the sun's solar radiation inside the atmosphere and not allowing it to escape into space, which is good for, say, Earth, because Earth apparently is like just on the outside of... Well, it's not on the outside, it's on the very rim of the habitable zone of our star, but because we have a strong greenhouse effect, it allows us to stay quite warm and not freeze to death, like Mars, for example, because Mars does not have any sort of carbon dioxide to keep it warm with a greenhouse effect, and thus it's freezing, really, really cold. Well, anyway, so Venus has predominantly carbon dioxide, very, very thick atmosphere, and as a result of that, what ended up happening was that the temperature on Venus rose to such incredible heights that if it did have oceans of water at some point in the past, they all disappeared, they boiled away, they're gone. The water vapor, once in the atmosphere, was broken down into hydrogen and oxygen and then blown away by the solar wind. Which is sort of unfortunate, because it would have been nice to have 2 habitable planets around our star, but oh well. So the surface temperature on Venus, I believe, I forgot what it is in Celsius, but you guys can figure this out yourself. I watch lots of astronomy documentaries based in America, so they use Fahrenheit there, sorry about that. But, so 900 degrees Fahrenheit. If you have a hard time conceptualizing that, either as someone who uses Fahrenheit or someone who has no idea how Fahrenheit works, then just imagine that lead would melt on the surface of Venus. It is hotter than cooking a pizza in your oven constantly on the surface of Venus. Of course, this is only the surface of Venus. In fact, the clouds of Venus, if you go high enough, the clouds are actually... Alright, we're still good. The clouds are actually not that hot. It's actually somewhat of a livable temperature up in the clouds of Venus. But unfortunately, the thing about that with the clouds of Venus is that you know, because of the carbon dioxide and all the other gases in the atmosphere, it's quite different from Earth's atmosphere. What actually forms... Can we even see Eve at the moment? Is that it? I'm assuming that's Eve. It's quite far away, but we can't see it very well. We might as well... Yeah, let's look at it here. So basically... There we go. Yeah, so just imagine if this were Venus. This atmosphere here is made completely out of carbon dioxide, almost. There's probably other stuff there, but the most important thing is the carbon dioxide. And in the clouds, it's not actually that hot. It's quite livable, actually. We could probably live there quite well with floating habitats of some sort. But the problem is that, due to the atmosphere, basically when it rains, it's not water rain, it's sulfuric acid rain. So Venus is not very hospitable in that sense. Of course, sulfuric acid probably would be a pretty cool thing to harvest from the clouds of Venus. But in addition to that, there are many other issues with Venus, such as the fact that I forgot where they are. I think maybe they're at the South Pole, but there in Venus's atmosphere are two gigantic tornado, hurricane-like storms, and it's actually two of them, and it's a permanent feature of Venus's atmosphere and the face of Venus. It's actually quite frightening, but I'm actually very curious, would this make me go backwards? Either way, so there's our orbit, very nice, we've made our orbit. I would really like this to get down very fast. We have about 14 minutes left in this episode. I would hate to have to turn this into a 2-episode sort of thing. But yeah, in terms of human colonization of Venus, it's technically a bad idea. If you talk to various people who want to colonize space immediately, you'll have a few groups of people. One, you have people who want to go to the moon first because they believe that the lower gravity of the moon, as well as the ability to make regolith shields from moon dust and other things like, I don't know, the fact that there's like helium-3, or is it hydrogen-3? I can't remember these things. I need to review. But anyway, yes, there are things on the moon that we could definitely use for space travel. But there are those people, they think that a moon colony first would definitely, like, springboard us into space. They're the Mars Direct folks that, they're actually pretty awesome. They believe that we need to skip the moon altogether because although it's, like, very close to us and we could set something up there more easily than setting up on Mars, Mars is far more habitable itself. It has approximately, 3/8? Yeah, 3/8 the gravity of Earth, so we're pretty sure that if we landed on Mars and we had people walking around on Mars, we wouldn't have such a big problem with muscle atrophy and bone atrophy and things like that, osteoporosis. And along with the fact that it does sort of have an atmosphere, it has carbon dioxide atmosphere, which we could change into oxygen, we could change it into rocket fuel. Mars is actually a pretty amazing place for us to start colonizing. There are lots of really useful stuff that we could have there. Plus, we're pretty sure that there's water under the surface. We're pretty sure there's not water on Venus, for example, but yeah, so Mars is definitely like a very good candidate for colonization, but getting there is going to be the major issue. Problems with going to Mars include the fact that it's at the minimum like a 6 to 8 month journey, and at maximum like years, depending on where you are in your orbit around the sun. And spending 8 months in interplanetary space is really sort of dangerous. Radiation levels are through the roof. You could have a random, like, what are they called? I forgot the exact name, but anyway, solar flares and stuff like that. Solar storms. Why am I forgetting so much astronomy terminology? Anyway, so occasionally there are times where the magnetic field lines of the sun basically screw up. The corona, mass ejection something? Anyway, so yes, those happen. Lots of radiation flying off into space in some random direction. And if it's aimed at Earth, we get like really crazy auroras down near the equator and things like that. Things that aren't very normal. But let's say one of those were pointed in the direction of our Mars exploring vehicle. And as we went This is taking a while. As we're on our way to Mars, we get hit with a giant solar storm. We currently don't really have very good radiation shielding for something like that, especially over the course of, say, 8 months in space. So that's probably one of the primary issues, along with the fact that people who go to Mars are going to need supplies and food and stuff like that for 2 to 3 years if they go to Mars. It's about 1 year journey to and back, 1.5 to and back, and then they'll be on Mars' surface for a year and a half maybe. So people who can sustain themselves, even if they have the supplies, mentally speaking, over that long of a period of time, that's it's pretty impressive. And that's sort of a big issue, the psychological effects of being stranded in space or being on Mars with maybe 3 other people is sort of taxing and dangerous for humans. So there's that. All of those issues that I just talked about in terms of getting to Mars are the same for Venus, except that as we get closer to the sun, there's even more solar radiation, which is good fun. Lots of awesome. But once we actually get to Venus, we can't actually go down to the surface. We would literally be living... I think that's okay. Yeah. That's good. Alright, so let's go ahead and speed up. Please come here, my capsule. Ah, it's crap. This always happens, always. Sigh one more time. But yes, once we go to Venus, we can never go down to the surface because we would die instantly. I don't know of anything that we could build that would keep us alive on the surface of Venus. Let's go ahead and slow that down right there. Thank you. Yeah, this is fine. So there's that. I realize that I don't... That's close enough. I don't even care. We're just gonna go ahead and destroy our orbit from here. Hello, Eve. But yeah, living in the clouds of Venus, that's something that you don't really think about very often in terms of sci-fi things. There are definitely people who have considered it, people who have looked at some designs, and it could be possible. We could do it, but it's a question of would we really want to? Is it really worth it? It's sort of insane, actually, when you get down to it, living in the clouds around Venus. Especially considering, I don't know, coronal mass ejections. There we go, there are those words, coronal mass ejections. If one of those happened and hit us in the clouds of Venus where we don't even have the atmosphere to protect us, well, what sort of stuff would happen there? So currently, probably we're not going to be colonizing Venus anytime soon whatsoever. But it's sort of fun to think about. Plenty of fuel left. Yeah, so due to the insane gravity... I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. This is taking way too long. Sigh. Just give me a second. I'm gonna try to focus on getting this done so we don't lose our PE again. Oh, sigh. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So yes, anyway, as I was saying, due to the very strong gravity of Eve and the fact that it has quite a thick atmosphere, and generally everything sort of sucks about Eve getting home. People, along with Tylo and Eve are the absolute worst places to try to get out of. But due to that, of course, Willman, again, is not coming home. Eventually we'll start designing return trips when I get bored of just landing on planets. But return trips require so much more designing, and then I actually have to worry about being efficient. I mean, who wants to do that? Who really wants to worry about being efficient when you're going to space? You just want to see awesome stuff. Hello. There we go. Just gonna zoom out. We are definitely moving really fast, aren't we? Fun times. I want to get this down because what I want to do is I want to be close enough here to where I know that I can land on the land. That's what I want. I don't want to be landing in the water, not this time. Maybe. Yeah, I want to make a semicircular orbit, so let's go ahead and speed up time. Alright, that's much better. I think maybe we can try to land here. Yeah, if we just like move our orbit around a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit more difficult to do this time, but anywhere around here would be good, I think. If we aim to cut our orbit here. This is taking a lot longer than I expected. Wow. Okay, so let's go ahead and go around again. This may end up taking too long, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put this possibly slightly... Oh, jeez. Why can't I stop it earlier? I just want to stop it here. Okay, very good. That'll be good. I want to lower this into the atmosphere of Eve. Pretty sure that's going into the atmosphere. Alright, so let's see where that takes us. Hopefully I don't accidentally crash this while... Yeah, that's totally into the atmosphere of Eve, right? It has an atmosphere similar to Kerbin's. This probably starts around 80 kilometers. Come on, you silly spaceship. Come closer. I really wish that our orbit plotter would take into account atmosphere. That would really make my day. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the surface. Hello. I'm wondering when we're going to be hitting the atmosphere, but... it's gonna be a little bit of an extended episode as we attempt to hopefully land on the dirt, the purple dirt of Eve. Maybe we should just go ahead and try to... What am I doing? I'm on the wrong side to do that. Oh well. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Entering the atmosphere now. Put this to 3. It's a nice planet. It's a nice planet. Is this lowering our PE? It is, but not that much. Oh no, it is. It is. Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna make us, as long as it makes us on this side. Actually, can I go ahead and just like slow us down completely? Oh, yes I can. But I still want to land on land, please and thank you. Okay. Nice. So we are definitely going to land on land now. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop all of this fuel. Goodbye. Oh, crap. What the heck just happened? I have no idea what just happened. Oh my gosh. Alright, so yeah, we're definitely gonna go decouple and shoot. Woo! There we go. Ha ha ha. Parachute! And the atmosphere is really freaking thick. 20 kilometers. Alright, very good. You'll be okay, Wilman. You'll be okay. I'm gonna rename this vessel the... I believe you're the 4th Wilman, so we're gonna name you the Wilman 4. Because I don't know what else to name this mission. Parachute's still there? Yeah, we're good. Okay. We're gonna land somewhere right down here. We are slowing down a lot just by using the atmosphere. Nice. Alright. Woo! So you guys get to see just how much gravity Eve has. This... oh, maybe I should make this 1. Three kilometers above Eve, Wilman? You're gonna be fine. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is gonna open no problem. There's water over there. Maybe eventually we should go check it out. So ladies and gentlemen, we're about to experience our very first manned landing. Well, our first landing whatsoever, in fact. Never landed a probe here. Our first manned landing on Eve. And of course Wilman will die here like all of his twins and clones. But really you have to sacrifice some men or some Kerbals every once in a while for progress. For progress, Wilman. Very nice. Let's go ahead and speed this up so that we can get to the ground in a reasonable amount of time. It's a strange lighting effect. Oh, we still don't know when 0.19 or 0.19 when it's going to be coming out, but I'm very excited. Soon we will have electric rover wheels. Oh yes. And then we shall explore the surfaces of our planets. I'm gonna go ahead and... yay! And landing. Bloop. Woman, step out. EVA. Let go. And we're on Eve with its not so pretty texture. Very pixelated texture. But yes. Here we are. Nice. Can you try to give us a jump, Wilman? Yep. It's essentially Kerbin. Oh, fun times. Gonna repack this parachute. Not that we're ever gonna use it again. Very nice. And if we were to go to Gilly, we could jump a kilometer. True story. Let's go ahead and get a little screenshot. And awesome. Well, that's about it for this episode, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that random rant about colonization of the Moon, Mars, and Venus. As always, thank you so much for watching. My name is Megneous, and I will see you next time.